fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Overreaction Monday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. So glad that you have joined us for this show today. Now, this is going to be a bit wonky. I'm going to just tell you that right now. This show here is a little bit wonky today since Alabama's game with St. John's was suspended last night in the top of the eighth inning with the Tide leading 7-2. And they're going to resume that game at 10:45 this morning. And since this is game 2, the Johnnies are actually the home team. So there's a full inning and 2/3 or so, something like that, to go before the Tide punch their ticket to Omaha. I thought they had gotten into the top of the – I thought there was one out in the top of the – nobody's out. Okay, so I'm getting more. So 2 full innings of baseball there. So I don't know if we'll get back or not, to be totally honest with you. We'll see. Now, the only other super that is not settled is Oklahoma and Kansas. The Sooners have a big lead in that one, 8-1. I think they're in the bottom of the third. That'll pick up this afternoon, and they're looking to sweep the Jayhawks out. The only series to go to a third game was North Carolina's dramatic win over Southern Cal, which finished off the Big Ten. Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas, West Virginia, and Troy all swept their way to Omaha. Auburn was the only super regional host to lose as Ole Miss put the wood to them. Now, Kansas is about to be the other one. They're going to get swept at home as well by Oklahoma. So we're going to end up with 5 SEC teams in the 8-team College World Series. One from the ACC, one from the Big 12, and good old Troy from the Sun Belt. Now, look, that's fantastic, but there was high drama in both the NBA and Stanley Cup finals over the weekend. I mean, 2 series there, so we can say finals. We're referring to both series, so we can say finals. The Knicks became just the 3rd team in NBA history to win the first 2 games on the road in the finals, joining the Bulls in 93, who beat the Suns in 6, and the Rockets in 95, who finished off the sweep against Shaq and the Orlando Magic.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We've seen a couple of things. And what a game that was, as New York was up big late and the Spurs made a frenetic comeback. Wemby has been a complete dog in the first half of both games, but has come on strong in the second half, the young man there. So we'll see. Now, New York is absolutely going bonkers over this team. It cost $8,000 just to get into the Garden for the game tonight. That's to get you to a nosebleed. If you want lower bowl, that's going to run you mid $20K. And first 5 rows, $45,000 to $50,000 for the first 5 rows tonight. Now, I don't know if Spike Lee pays for his tickets. I don't know. Maybe he's comped, because he brings so much attention to it. I don't know. Ben Stiller is actually paying for his ticket. I don't know. All I know is $45,000 to $50K to sit courtside to watch a game. Dan Schwartzman of the Bloomberg Radio Network in New York and a Huntsville radio alum will join us in the next segment to set the scene up for that. Now, I don't know if I'll get to any phone calls. It's just, I don't know. But the number is 256-576-4977. That number is good however you consume the show. The text window is open as well. You text the text window, Natty Danny, and you call the call-in window. The text window is 732-982-7469. I have a call from Dan in the text window. I mean, it's not like he's been... First of all, he sends me a text that says that Fernando Mendoza is out for the season after hurting his arm cranking the thing at the Vegas hockey game. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he injured his shoulder. He's out for the season. Like, what? And he made me go and look it up. I had to go look it up. Wasting my time. I had to look it up. He didn't hurt himself. Finally, you can watch the show as well on WZZN TV on the YouTube, the Facebook. Find it at YouTube. Find it at Facebook. Find it on the X. You can find it, the link at my X feed, which is at Thom Abraham Show. So you can check it out there as well. So we got a lot going on. Now, to be clear on this NBA thing, a team has lost the first two games at home and come back to win a 7-game series, but none in the finals. It's happened 5 times, but not in the finals. The last team to do it was the Celtics 3 years ago against the Hawks. Remember that? They lost the first 2 games at home. Atlanta went in there, beat Boston the first 2 games at home, and they got whacked. So it does happen. And if the Spurs win tonight, then the sphincters are going to tighten up for Game 4 on Wednesday, since San Antonio would be able to erase what the Knicks have done right there and turn it into a best-of-3 series. High drama, high sports drama. And how about that game in Vegas on Saturday night where the Golden Knights went out to a 4-0 lead, 11 minutes to go in the game, and they're just cruising to a 2-1 lead in the series. And all of a sudden, the Canes went off for 3 goals in 39 seconds. And then they score another goal and tie it up 4-4 and then lose in overtime to Nick Dowd and the Golden Knights. And that deal will pick up tomorrow night. And then get this. Brandon Sorsby has won an injunction in Texas and has been ruled eligible to play for Texas Tech this morning. What an absolute mess that is. I mean, we'll get into that, time permitting. We'll have much more with that, tomorrow. I don't know if this can be reversed at any particular point in time yet, but this is awful. Remember, this is the kid that bet $90,000 worth of bets, over 300 bets when he was at Indiana, 40 of which were on the football team that he was on his own team. The ruling said that Sorsby, quote, demonstrated that he will suffer probable, imminent, and irreparable injury if this court does not issue this temporary injunction, because he would be unable to participate as a member of Texas Tech University's football team in 20 and 26. I mean, you got to get out of here with that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? First of all, where's the damage? He goes into the draft, like the supplemental draft now. He would get drafted. I believe he would get drafted. The NCAA has responded saying that the court's ruling undermines and corrupts the integrity of the sport, of sports in general, which it does. Quote, the NCAA strongly disagrees with the court's ruling in Sorsby's case and is deeply concerned about the damaging, far-reaching, and broadly destabilizing ramifications of this outcome, which undermines and corrupts the integrity of sports. The NCAA is committed to supporting student-athletes' mental health, but must continue to aggressively defend against actions that defraud college athletics and threaten competitive integrity, such as betting on one's own sport, close quote. This is bad. I mean, every kid in the country that wants to bet, there's no penalty. There's no penalty. It's like the guy running out on the court. No penalty. I could do this. I just go to a court, get an injunction, and keep playing. This could be the tipping point. This could be the thing that finally gets Congress to give the NCAA its what it needs to be able to govern. This is horrific. I mean, this is not a guy that placed a $5 bet on a horse race or something. This is a guy that bet over $90,000 of himself, another $65,000 by sending money to family members and friends to bet for him. Documented over 300 bets on other college football games, which he has inside knowledge of. Over 40 bets on his own team that he was on. Oh, he was a scout team player. It doesn't matter. Bull crap. He knows who's injured. He knows who looks good in practice. He knows what's going on in it. He only bet on Indiana to win. Bull crap, too. Because on the games that he doesn't bet, this is the Pete Rose theory. Remember? Pete Rose only bet on the Reds to win. But then when Pete Rose didn't bet on the Reds to win, or when Brandon Sorby didn't bet on Indiana to cover, he was sending information out to other bettors just like that, to the books and so on. Why isn't he betting on them in this game? It's horrible. This is not good. This is not good at all. All right, back in mission control, playing the Play Doesn't Matter to Stacks of Wax. Wearing multiple hats, making sure that we get out on time to get the Crimson Tide and the Johnnies in there to get that series wrapped up. It's the Grasshopper.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
And you got to be running around like a one-arm paper hanger in there right now, right? You're kind of handling both sides of the room at the same time. That's
I'm chilling. No,
you chilling?
No, yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah.
Chilling like a villain?
Yeah. I'm just posted up, got the peanut gallery to my right, we're just chilling out.
So I know, you've got the boss in there with you, right? You got our program director in there with you, Steve Moulton.
Yes,
You're making sure that I get the hell out on time, get this baseball game in.
Yeah, crazy that I had to carry over into today, especially because I feel like if they just started a little bit earlier, they'd be able to get that game all the way in. But yeah.
Well, there's weather everywhere. What was the last thing that I said on Friday? Remember the last thing I said? It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. And at least we won't have any rain delays in the baseball tournament.
Yeah, until Sunday, because Sunday was just nonstop, and it's going to rain the rest of the week. I hope we can get the rest of these games in, but I know Huntsville, it's going to be pretty wet, and of course, very floody on the roads. But my weekend was pretty nice. It consisted of a little bit of NASCAR, but mainly I started the Night of the Living Dead movies, and gotta admit, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Are they too scary for you?
No, I don't watch that horror, scary stuff. I've never gotten into that stuff. I've walked out of 2 movies in the history of me. I walked out of Friday the 13th, and I walked out of Any Given Sunday. So unrealistic.
Is Any Given Sunday a horror movie?
No. It's just a stupid football movie. Al Pacino as the coach, and it was just so. I love Al Pacino, but I mean, Michael Corleone as the coach on Any Given Sunday. It was just a ridiculous movie. Had a bunch of big stars in it. Lawrence Taylor was in it. Jim Brown was in it. They were coaches on the staff, but it was just unrealistic movie. Terrible movie.
I understand that.
So we're moving fast today. All right.
It's already time for you to get out.
Yeah, Dan Schwartzman's coming up here, and if you're like, where's Hollywood? Why is John in there by himself handling everything? Hollywood Hogan has exited stage left. He's been hot to trot to move to North Carolina for a while, and he was able to find something over there, and his left. He said, boop, there it goes. All right, so we have a replacement in mind. We'll let you know as that time comes. But this week, John will be running solo as Hollywood Hogan. He did give us notice, I think 10, 12 minutes, maybe 15-minute notice maybe we got. I mean, something like that, I think is what he gave us, something like that. We got like 10 minutes notice. But anyway,
good
he's
kid,
Gonzo.
though. Good kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Very, very smart kid. Very, very smart. Very young. I don't know if people knew this. Hollywood Hogan was 19 years old. and had graduated college already. Very smart kid. He's just not our kid anymore. So that's the way that goes. All right, let's grab a break. When we come back, Dan Schwartzman will join us next from New York City, where they're going absolutely bonkers as tonight the Knicks and the Spurs resume with the Knicks up 2-0 in that series. We'll do that next right here on the Thom Abraham Show. Thom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and our employee pricing for everyone is in high gear right now at Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. That's right, everyone in the Tennessee Valley can get our special Ford employee pricing on over 280 available new Fords. Save up to $15,000 off MSRP on remaining new 25 F-150s and up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 25 Broncos. With your good credit, you can save thousands with financing as low as 0% on select new models. And always remember, Lynn Layton Ford will never charge you any mysterious dock fee or some hidden markup. It's simple. You pay what we pay on 280 new Fords. That's right, $15,000 off MSRP on new 25 F-150s, $8,000 off MSRP on new 25 Broncos, or lock in 0% financing on select new models. Come see us at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Baumhauer's Restaurant, legendary food and legendary fun. Whether you're craving the freshest seafood from Alabama's Gulf Coast, juicy chicken or char-grilled steaks seared to succulent perfection, you're craving Baumhauer's Restaurant. Add to that a sports-themed atmosphere and HD flat screens every place you look. For a sneak peek at the menu, go to baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Baumhauer's Restaurant.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by the Docs at TOC. You know, I'm always talking about these people that I've known and trusted in the Tennessee Valley for over 20 years. Well, my buddy Thom Perkins and the Docs at TOC certainly fit that description. And when my own family has needed an orthopedic specialist, TOC was the only call to make. There is a reason why almost all the schools in the region use TOC, because they are trusted and they provide the kind of care people need. TOC is the orthopedic center. It's right there in the name, and they're right there when you need them. Everywhere. I'm telling you right now, it's everywhere. Commercials, bump music at the NBA Finals, bump music at the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm hearing Freebird everywhere. I heard instrumental Freebird the other day. It's everywhere. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. 2004, I got to the Tennessee Valley, and about 20 minutes after I got there, I was in a car accident, and didn't even know how to get to the hospital. My wife didn't even know how to get to the hospital. The ambulance knew how to get to the hospital. They took me to the hospital in Athens, Alabama, and my wife didn't even know how to get there. It was Dan Schwartzman, who I'd known for maybe a week or so. It was Dan Schwartzman that got my wife and escorted her, took her to the hospital, and hung by my side while I was in the hospital getting checked out after they got me out of that tin can that I was driving that day. And ever since then, I've felt indebted to him. Not really, but, it is what it is. He joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. He's also on WZZN TV with us, so you could see his smiling face there as well. Schwartz, welcome in, my friend. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. And I do remember, Tom, that when I did come visit you in the hospital, they said, don't make him laugh because you had some internal injuries potentially. And what did I do? I made you laugh.
Right, it's right. It's exactly right. You made me laugh, and I couldn't stop laughing. And it was like I had rib injuries and stuff like that, and it was bad stuff. How is it that was 22 years ago? So that was 22 years ago. How is it that you look exactly the same? What product are you using to keep your hair black? Because look at me. I look like friggin' Santa Claus over here, and look at you with this black hair.
I was going to say you look pretty terrible, Tom, but you haven't aged well, my friend. That's because you have 9 kids, but. It's called Botox. I'm kidding. I'm not using Botox. I'm half Asian, as you know, so we don't age till we're about 80, and then we fall off a cliff.
That must be it. Dan, of course, with Bloomberg Radio now, and is heard, I don't know, all over the world probably with Bloomberg. You still doing that? Where you're doing those reports and everything else for them all over the world?
I am doing stuff for them all over the world, yes. Mainly in America, though, all around the country.
Look, I can't look that bad. I retired like 4 years ago. I'm in semi-retirement. I mean, come on. I mean, it's I'm hanging out. I'm in my studio. I got all my books behind me that I've read. I mean, come on now.
And your wife, by the way, has not aged, so that's keeping you young, obviously, because Alan looks exactly the same as well from when I met her in 2004. Thank goodness for you, because she does bring the equation up significantly when she's, in your arms.
That's a good job by me. And, grandchild number 15 on the way now. Tommy, my youngest son, my second oldest son, I guess. Tommy is, he and his wife are pregnant now. And so grandchild number 15 on the way from the 9 kids that we have. And John and Danny haven't even started yet. So I got more breeders yet to come.
Well, congratulations. And should we pull the Antonio Cromartie and have you name all 9 kids and make sure you can do it? And their birthdays?
I could probably, the birthdays, now you're getting dicey here. The birthdays would be tough. I could name the 9 kids. I don't know that I could name the 15 grandkids. I mean, I probably could, but I mean, I might stumble along the way. So we don't want to test that theory. So where will you be sitting in Madison Square Garden? Do you have the $8,000 nosebleeds? Do you have the lower bowl at $25,000 ticket? Or are you in the first 5 rows where you pay $45,000 to $50,000 for your ticket at the game? Where will you be tonight with the game?
I called my friend Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, and they were so nice and generous and offered me a seat right next to them, actually. So I'll be sitting in the $50,000 seats. Pretty much Mike Brown will be sitting in my lap courtside tonight. No, I'm going to be sitting at home with my own beer in my own bathroom, better angles on TV than paying thousands and thousands to go watch the Knicks win tonight. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, it's going to be Give us the sense of New York, because what I understand is it's going absolutely bonkers. Now, look, the Giants have won a couple of Super Bowls. The Jets a million years ago went into Super Bowl. Of course, nobody expected that. The Yankees win. It's been a minute. You know what I mean? But the Yankees have all those championships and so on. The Mets have kind of sprinkled in one or two. But this is different when it's the Knicks. Is this kind of like the Rangers in '94? What is this? What's the lay of the land there?
It is the Rangers in '94 because that was 50-some-odd years between championships. I was there, by the way, for the Matteau wraparound goal, so I remember the energy in that city leading that run with Mark Messier. Jalen Brunson is Mark Messier, but he's for the Knicks. He has been the greatest free agent signing potentially in the history of that franchise, one of the greatest free agent signings in the history of New York sports, and that's saying a lot, by the way, Tom. You walk around the city, there's Knicks caps everywhere, Knicks T-shirts everywhere. The fever is here. 1973 was a long time ago. I remember 99. I remember the 94, whatever it was. I remember those years the Knicks made it to the finals with Patrick Ewing. They didn't win it, though. And as the years went by and the organization got worse and worse, we started to worry, will they ever win? And in today's NBA, where you talk about super teams and how they're put together, this is not a conventional super team the way Leon Rose put them together. And people love this team because there's characters and they're good people. You don't have a problem child on this team. Guys have kind of adhered to what Mike Brown is coaching. Look, you've watched Karl Anthony Towns for 10 years now, 11 years now. Guy's never played a lick of defense in his life. But he's running back harder than anybody. He is making life miserable for Victor Wembanyama. The fact is, Tom, it's a very likable team. New York has gotten behind this team, and we're sitting here 2 wins away from a ticker tape parade down the Canyon of Heroes, something we have not seen since really the Yankees in 2009.
And it feels like a kind of a one-off for them. I mean, I don't think anybody, when this ends, they're not going to be predicted to repeat as NBA champions. It feels like an incredible run and a one-off. Not saying they won't be competitive. Whereas when you look at the Spurs, because of Wemby and other young players that they have on that team, it feels like we're looking at the beginning of, 4 finals in 6 years, something like that, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Look, the Spurs are a young, fledgling dynasty. And talk about luck, Tom. Here is a team that has had 3 number 1 picks in recent memory, and every time they have a pick, it's a generational talent coming out. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Victor Wembanyama. Then the Knicks haven't had that number 1 pick. When they had a top selection, it was number 3, and they lost out on Zion Williamson and John Morant, and they got R.J. Barrett. And Barrett was an okay player, kind of a stack compiler, but that led to O.J. Anunoby coming here in a great trade from Leon Rose. So, yeah, I think the Knicks may be more of a one-off, but guess what? There's still youth enough on that team, Tom. You're not talking 35, 36-year-old guys where it's going to go downhill starting next year. Brunson still has years. Cat still has years. O.J. Anunoby's got years. Bridges still has years. Look, Josh Hart is the heart and soul of this team. Mitchell Robinson's a free agent, but he probably comes back. Can they kind of add another big man into the mix? Absolutely. And don't forget, this has now become a sexy destination to come if you are a free agent, if the Knicks want to bring you here, because not only is it New York, but now they're winners, right? So does this make Giannis want to come here? And does he pull the string on forcing a trade to the Knicks? And if so, what do the Knicks give up? And does it ruin the chemistry of this team? Or does it actually make him better where for the next 2 or 3 years, they're once again competing for championships?
The low point was like when LeBron shunned him. Like if LeBron didn't want to be a Knick, I mean, so that's like, okay, what is it that bad? I mean, this is the Mecca, right? We talk about the Mecca, and LeBron didn't even want to go there. Now guys will be lining up to want to go there as well. And you talk about likable. You're right. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, the way he's playing, Josh Hart, getting all those rebounds and doing all of that stuff. And then you mentioned Mitchell Robinson. I call him a 7-foot Urkel. He reminds me of Urkel. You know what I mean? He put glasses on him. He's Urkel. He's a big, goofy looking guy, and them shoulders and everything else. And can't throw it in the ocean from the free throw line. And then when he makes 2, the place goes nuts. It's like, how is it that a guy who has been playing basketball his whole life, and I get that he's a big man, but how is it that guy doesn't get the concept of a little bit of arc on a free throw? You know what I mean? Just a little bit of arc. He's like throwing a thing at it like it's a hand grenade. He just throws it at the front of the rim. And, when he makes a couple, it's really a sight to see. But that's what makes them likable.
Absolutely. You mentioned Mitchell Robinson. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. There's no question about it. It's like you have one job to do, and the one thing you cannot do is shoot. So spend every off day taking free throws. It's not that difficult of a concept. You're getting paid a lot of money, getting paid handsomely to do something on the basketball court. Now, to be fair, though, defensively, when he's in there, Tom, and again, he's a liability because you foul him, you send him to the line, and he's going to break 2 of them. But he has made life miserable for Wemby as well, right? When you talk about Towns, you talk about Robinson, Wemby, who at 7'4" should be going inside. He can't go inside. He keeps getting pushed out. And they rescinded that technical on Robinson, which is just garbage call in game 2. But he's been really, he's bought into this system as well. And he's had some mental health issues that he brought up recently. But, man, I'll tell you what, it'll be a good way to get through that when you win a championship in New York and the way New York treats their winners.
Yeah, Dan Schwartzman with us here, giving us the feel in New York City here. Now, here's the flip side of this whole deal. I mentioned this in the open. You know, if the Spurs win this game, now the sphincters tighten up a little bit, because now you would go into Wednesday night in game 4, and it would almost be must win for the Knicks, because if the Spurs then were to do that, we're right back to everything is back to even. It's a best of 3 with 2 games in San Antonio. So it's funny to say, because nobody has ever come back from down 2 at home in the finals. Now, it's happened 5 times, including 2 years ago when the Celtics did it against the Hawks. It's happened 5 times in the NBA where a team has lost 2 at home and then won a 7-game series, but never in the final. Having said that, if the San Antonio Spurs figure out a way to win this game, now the drama really gets ratcheted up for Wednesday night.
Absolutely. You're correct. And for New York fans, especially Knick fans, I would say, or non-Yankee fans, you kind of are waiting for that other shoe to fall, right? I know it's a terrible way to think of things, but when you haven't won in 53 years, things have gone wrong down the stretch. And I think for Knick fans, it's like, come on, just wrap this up. Do not send this back to San Antonio. Do not take your foot off their throat. But here's what I'm going to say, though, Tom. To me, this is reminiscent to the rumble in the jungle between Ali and Foreman, right? You watched that fight, and I'm sure you've watched replays of this fight, Tom. We're both young guys, so we never saw it live, or maybe you did. Yeah. I mean, you're ancient. You remember when Running Water came out. But, you know, Tom, you used to poop in a hole probably back in the day. But, Tom, and George Washington was your neighbor. But here's the thing, though. You know, Foreman devastated Ali round after round after round, right? I mean, he's pummeling him. But Ali isn't going down. And when it's all said and done, and I believe the line Foreman and Foreman's Ali goes to him, "Is that all you got?" And Foreman goes, "That's about it," because he was done. And Ali stood there. And the Spurs, especially in the first quarter of game 2, Tom, they were just laying it on, playing great defense. And you look at the score, and the Knicks are down 3 or 5 or 4. So whatever the Spurs are throwing at them, the Knicks are answering right back. And when the Spurs are out of energy, because it's been a longer road for them to get here, obviously, that's when the Knicks pounce, and they don't give up. They don't let up. They did a little bit in game 2 at the end there. We can talk about the officiating another time. But, Tom, the Knicks took the shots, and they were the ones left standing. I don't know how much more San Antonio has, because they're not being coached well, by the way. I mean, why isn't Harper playing as much? Harper, you want a guy to go out there and just go off for points. And Harper in game 1 barely played in that second half. It's just you know, Mike Brown is out coaching right now, which is amazing to say, because he's a great guy. Never thought of him as a great coach. But, man, is he proving us wrong here.
Oh, when they were down 2-1 to the Hawks, I was like, this is what they fired Tom Thibodeau for?
Exactly.
For this?
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't make it to the final, and I was just satisfied seeing them get to the final, because then they at least took the next step. And you mentioned Jalen Brunson, and he's done some amazing things. He's also, I think he's 19 for 53 in these first 2 games. I mean, John Starks in game 7 against the Houston Rockets is wondering what the heck's going on with Jalen Brunson. And by the way, if those of you that don't get the reference, Starks was 1 for 22 in game 7.
3 for 18, I think, or something crazy. And he wouldn't stop shooting, Tom. I'm watching this game going, you can't hit the broadside of a barn. Why do you keep shooting? And they were 3. I think it was 3 for 18. They lose the game. Starks did nothing in that game. But he owns car dealerships in New York, and he's still beloved here, by the way.
And he goes to the games. They'll all be there. All those 90s Knicks will be there at those games. But Brunson, you know, we're going to think of Brunson if they finish this off. Karl Anthony Towns might be the MVP, but we're going to think of Brunson and his status, all time there. And I'm old enough. I became a Knicks fan as a kid in 1970, 1973. Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, Willis Reed coming off the, out of the locker room, the whole 9 yards. Earl of Pearl Monroe, Dean Meminger, and Phil Jackson coming off the bench. All of that kind of stuff. Knew all of those guys. I have a hard time putting big men in the same category as little guys. So I kind of take, I would take Willis Reed and set him aside. I kind of set the big guys aside, but you wonder where Jalen Brunson, is he Earl Monroe? Is he Jerry Lucas? Is he Clyde? He's not Clyde, but he's probably just a cut below. I mean, he historically, Patrick Ewing and Willis Reed, I put those in a different category. But, man, I'll tell you what, he has a chance to put himself in the lore of New York basketball.
He's ahead of Carmelo, right? Carmelo couldn't win here, and he was probably a hindrance to them winning here. Stoudemire was beloved, but, he never won anything, and he wasn't the same player, by the way, when he got to New York. Better in earlier parts of his career. Brunson's prime began here. Remember, he showed upwards trajectory in Dallas last year. He averaged about 16.9 points a game. They let him go like idiots, by the way. And Leon Rose believed in him. No one else did. I remember all those commentators saying, oh, this is the guy. But then again, no one wanted to come to the Knicks then. Brunson was the only one. And he gets this done, Tom, regardless of the fact that he has struggled. It doesn't matter. They're a better team because of Jalen Brunson. You ride and die with the guy, right? If he gets this done and they win 2 more games, Tom, you're right. He's up there maybe slightly below Clyde. He wins another one while in New York. He's in there as well. Yeah. I mean, get the first one, but he'll never pay for a meal in New York City, and neither will Karl Anthony Towns. You mentioned Ewing, you mentioned Willis Reed. If Anthony Towns puts together 8 years in New York, 7 years in New York, and he is the MVP of this series, there's no question about it, And they've gotten better ever since they ran the offense more through him than, by the way, through Brunson. It's opened up the perimeter. He is going to be in that class as well and deserves to be because he has stepped his game up more than people thought he could because we thought he was a stack compiler in Minnesota. He comes to New York in that Randall deal. And Randall was a beloved Knick, by the way, for 3 years. Yeah. And he has proven us all wrong that he, in fact, does have more aspects to his game than just a pure scorer.
And I don't know anybody's ever worth 5 first-round picks. But for a year and a half, it didn't feel like Mikal Bridges was like, really, this is what you give up the whole 5 first-round picks for. But man, he is playing really, really well too. I mean, that's the thing about this team. You'll look at the stat sheet, and they'll have 5 guys in double figures. I mean, it's crazy how they just operate as a team.
When Leon Rose, who by the way was never a GM, he was a super agent. We forget he was a super agent. And when he has put together this team, there's a purpose to every move he makes, right? This isn't fantasy basketball, Tom. And OG Anunoby comes in here. Sure, he can score. There's no question. He's a great defensive player, right? He fits a role there. The Knicks needed more defense. What did Bridges bring in? Well, they overpaid, certainly. 5 first-round picks are a lot. It's not going to matter, though, here because he's played great in this postseason. And if they win a championship, I don't care. Take your 5 first-round picks and run with them. It doesn't matter to me. I want the championship. But Bridges fills a role as well. And part of that role is comfort with Brunson, comfort with Hart. They're all the Villanova trio right now. It used to be 4 guys with DiVincenzo. But he also fills the role because he also plays defense. And when he's hot, he can shoot the basketball. So there's a method to the madness of building this team in New York from Leon Rose. The guy deserves incredible accolades. Brian Cashman of the Yankees, and I hate to go off a little bit on this, but Brian Cashman gets a ton of credit. He didn't build the dynasty. That was Stick Michaels and Bob Watson. Cashman built 1 World Series winner, and he did it with money. Leon Rose is building potentially a championship team here with brains, okay?
Yeah.
Because you can only use a certain amount of money. It's the NBA, right? He also had to deal with the fact no one wanted to come to the Knicks, and he was able to build a team that right now is on the cusp of a championship. That's greatness, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then you got Shamit, who is like the $15 an hour board operator who ends up getting a 6-figure job as a host. You know what I mean? You got to be kidding me, right? Where did this freaking goofy-looking guy come from?
Why is your producer not laughing? Come on, Tom.
He looks like a freaking alien, and he's out there.
Yeah, but 11 of 12 from three-point land in the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's just absolutely nuts. And let's be honest, they haven't played great. Now, the Spurs haven't played great. The Knicks have not played a great game, and they're up 2-0 going home. So it's crazy. Please tell me they're not going to wear those hideous black uniforms tonight. They are going to look like the Knicks tonight, I hope, right? Either white or blue. I can go with either one of them, but please look like the Knicks tonight. Don't be wearing one of them stupid alternate uniforms. They won't do that to us, right?
Tom, the 22 years I've known you, from day when I knew you were quite the fashionista. I can see in the way you dress. I'm glad that you're a Cleveland Browns fan. Talk about an ugly uniform. Looks like I puked all over it. Looks like I had Taco Bell the night before, and that's my gift to you. Here's your uniform and helmet. All right, Tom. So listen, I don't give a darn what uniform. They can be wearing nothing. Just come out with a W tonight. Put this at 3-0. End any hope for the Spurs coming back. Make Wembanyama hurt the way they've done. The guy is clueless out there on the court. He's a great player. He'll be an all-time legend. But, man, is he playing like crap, and that's because how good the Knicks are. They can wear white, puke browns, whatever that color you call it. As long as they win, I don't care what they're wearing.
It's a little bit reminiscent of Shaq with the Magic when they got swept by Houston. Young Shaq with the Magic. Even he played hard at least, but he was not what he became. You know what I mean? And you know that Wemby's going to get his down the road. That's why I say get them now. Get those guys now because they're going to be there. Year in and year out.
Hey, Tom, real quick. I actually met Shaq 3 weeks ago.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, he came by the Bloomberg Studios. And apparently him and Mike Bloomberg are good friends. And he came by the Bloomberg Studios, and he still draws a crowd, by the way, because he's massive. So he walks by my desk because my desk is 20 feet away from Mike Bloomberg's desk. And I go, "What's up, Shaq?" And he goes, puts his big bear paw on my shoulder. He goes, "How you doing, brother?"
Yeah.
And that's my Shaq story.
He's like a really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Very, very genuine. He was brought up right, and he's a good guy. I just cannot believe that you're working for Mike Bloomberg. Knowing your politics, I know your politics, I cannot believe you work for Mike Bloomberg all these years. That's a whole.
Yeah, but wait, but you're forgetting something. I lived in New York City for the 12 years of Bloomberg, right?
Yeah.
And New York was bliss, safe, economically vibrant. 8 years of Giuliani, 12 years of Bloomberg. Those are the 20 best years in New York. And he's not a charismatic guy, clearly. He's not a tall guy, but he's a self-made guy who took nothing and built a company with 27,000 employees, treats employees well. I know, look, I'll take the politics out of it. I know what he did in New York for 12 years. I know what he is as a boss. He sits at a cubicle, by the way, Tom. He's the richest man in New York, sits at a cubicle. Yes, he does. There's no hierarchy in his company. Sits at a cubicle 20 feet away from us. Don't call him Mr. Bloomberg, call him Mike. Yeah. I will stand by the guy any day, any week.
And that's certainly better than the situation you got there now.
You want to do a whole show on that, my friend? We can talk hours.
We'll have to put that one over on our Fox News station, our sister station over at Talk Radio WZZN. That's what I had to do. I had to have you be on as a guest on that show on Talk Radio WZZN and see how that.
I might get fired if I do that.
You'd be a great guest over there for Bill Crawford and his team. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you. Good stuff. It's fun catching up. And as usual, taking all those shots at me. And we'll look forward to doing it again.
And I'll see you in July, by the way, down there in Tennessee.
Right. You'll be coming up. Yeah.
That's right, brother. Good times.
That's it. Get Dan Schwartzman to a remote. And all you folks in Huntsville that remember him, we get a chance to come out and see him. He'll be coming up here in July. He's going to actually be using my studio for some Bloomberg stuff. So, good stuff. All right. So, we're going out now. You got Alabama St. John's, 2 innings to go. And if there's any time left before noon, we'll be back. Until then, enjoy the baseball, guys.
.97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, "You need a new roof." Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof repair.